Hi everyone, I'm Natalia. Welcome to my channel. Today I want to share with you what I call aha cards. One of the things that I love about indie decks and about tarot is I love the fact that each artist that creates a tarot deck is able then to illustrate how they perceive and how they see a particular symbolism in tarot cards. And I find this very not only fascinating, but it's really an opportunity for me to then be able to see the card from a different angle, to see the card for a different meaning, to understand the archetype and to go deeper into the archetypal symbolism that perhaps I haven't really thought about before. And I think that's the beauty of having or having a lot of, not necessarily possessing, but so many decks out there, and for us to be able to see the imagery of so many decks, whether you own a deck or you see somebody else share deck, it lends you to experience that imagery, that symbolism, that archetype of that card differently. And I think that's really amazing and an opportunity for all of us that we have. So what I call aha cards are representations of an archetype, or perhaps even minor arcana or a court card that I came across that was illustrated by an artist, that by the sheer force, by the way they illustrated it, enabled me to see it from an angle I haven't seen before. Now it's interesting because oftentimes I find myself knowing some aspects of a particular card of archetype or symbol, but it's not until I see something illustrated in a way that I already know it that something clicks, and then things become very obvious. For some reason, that's just how my brain works. So I wanted to share with you 3 aha cards that have led me to those moments of self-discovery and looking at that card differently from a different angle. And if you would like to, you also can engage in this and do your own VR and share your own aha card or cards, how many you want, because I think it's through the interactions with the images that the understanding of the symbolism is expanding for a lot of us. At least it's definitely expanding for me. So the first card that I want to share with you that I had an aha moment is the Tower card. Now, this is a standard, I should pull from those two. This is Rider-Waite-Smith, very familiar tarot card that we're all familiar with. And one of the things about the Tower card, and here's those cards for the comparison. So these are 2 of the most common decks, right? The Terre de Marseille is another one that I also could have included as well in here, but I'm just including this one. So when we look at the tarot cards, when I look at the tarot card, for me, tarot card is about an event. It's an external event that is happening to you that is of a big magnitude. It is a tower crumbling. It's a part of something you have been building up, or something you've been working toward, or maybe something within yourself that is about to crumble because it's no longer can sustain itself, because it's no longer true to your past. Tower cards are oftentimes, for me, are big moments in our lives. It's a big moment of something happening. I know the Tower card can be very scary for a lot of people. I see it more as an opportunity. In Rider-Waite-Smith's card, for me, this tower always felt very impersonal. Even though it has people falling out of the towers, there's something about this illustration that tend to depersonalize the card for me and tend to see tower as much more an outside event happening to us versus happening for us as a way of growth, as a way of maturity, as a way of shifting things within ourselves. The Tower card in those, for me, always felt to me a little bit more divine intervention, a little bit more an outside force, but as if fate is now telling you that this needs to crumble. Again, also external intervention, external forces, but a little bit different feeling. Tower for me has always also symbolized falling off of ego concepts psychologically, false ideas, false beliefs, those type of things. And for the longest time, I saw Tower as, again, an external event. Somehow I continue to depersonalize it, even though I know that internally I, as a person, also go through a Tower moment, of course, right? at the same time, somehow there was a little bit of separateness, a little bit of a distancing between me and the tower event. It wasn't until I came across Witch's Tarot, beautiful, by the way, in the tarot deck, and I saw this tower card that led me to an aha moment to see and understand tower card differently. Now, like I said before, a lot of times we have this understanding already inside of us, but for some reason it clicks when we see an image, when we see a representation of what we already know internally. For me, it was this card, because this is such, to me, this is such a personal, whereas the other tarot card is so depersonalizing, can't even pronounce it. This card is the opposite of that. It is very personal because it is person-centric. I see a woman in there. I immediately identify with a woman, perhaps because I also identify as a woman. So perhaps I see myself immediately in her. But she is going through this fire. She's going through this flame right here, which symbolizes a tower moment in a card for me. And what I'm seeing is no longer an external event that is happening to her, but I'm seeing an internal event that she's about to go through. I'm seeing that she is not only about to go through a big drastic change, she has to pass through the flames. I know that passing through the flames is not going to leave her unscarred. It is going to leave scars. It will leave burn marks. But I also see her do it in a way where she's accepting that this is something she needs to go through. She's not resisting. She's not falling out of a tower, shaking. Here, for me, I feel like this is dazed and confused. Oh my God, what happened? Why are we falling out of a tower type of moment? Here, there's no even people, right? And no, there's people in those deck. They're kind of very geometric figures, but in here, it is also, shaken up by the force of higher being, for me, feels like. But here, she's voluntarily going through this fire. She knows she needs to go through this. She knows it's going to change her and change trajectory of her life forever. She knows it's going to also leave marks that she will never forget, and she's not resisting the pain that requires to go through the fire. She's not resisting what it might do to her, how it might transform her. She does it voluntarily. She does it accepting that this moment is happening for her, not to her. And this card, when I saw this card, allowed me to shift this tower moment to a more internal plane. Now, as I said, of course, tower is always an internal event, in a sense that, of course, when things outside happen to us, it's bound to affect us internally. But this is a different type of internal relationship to a drastic event. This is has so much, I feel, understanding and acceptance that this is part of the passage. This is part of maybe a difficult patch that one need to go through in order to achieve the growth that they need. And this is why this is such an aha card for me. And I just absolutely love this card. The tower has been depicted so many different ways, in so many different ways throughout tarot imagery. Everybody depicts it differently. For me, this was a card that took it to a different level. This was a card that took a tower for me and also helped me realize that when I go through tower moments, I have to let it go. I have to allow it to transform me. I have to allow the flames to consume me, and I have to trust that I have everything that I need, that I have everything that it takes to come out on the other side, like that phoenix flying out of the ashes, right? So the Witch's Tarot, it was for me the aha card, tower card. The other one is going to be a Queen of Swords. Now, Queen of Swords is a card for me that I personally over-identify as. I see myself as a Queen of Swords, sharp with her words, sharp with her tongue, sometimes too sharp. I love Queen of Swords. I look for Queen of Swords in tarot all the time because, again, I over-identify with that card as much as I over-identify with Death card. I'm sure some of you have cards you over-identify with. So Queen of Swords is a special card for me. And here she's seated, she's, we see her profile, and she's almost as if she's commanding, or she's about to command something, the way she's gesturing her hand. I always personally loved the Zos illustrator of Queen of Swords, because here she's with a sword removing the mask. She's holding the mask in her hand. She's basically saying, I remove the persona, the bullshit, the cover up that you presented, and I remove it to reveal your authentic self, to reveal your truth, to reveal who you are. Harsher, but this is more, to me, this comes across more as almost righteous, judicious, as if she has a right to tell you what the truth is, and as if it is her duty to remove that mask. There's that energy I get from this card, whereas this is more commanding, in a calmer fashion, her partaking and giving away her wisdom and her knowledge. Two different Queen of Swords. The one that had an aha moment for me too, and shifted things, especially because I over-identify with Queen of Swords, and especially when you over-identify with cards, such as I do, it's easy to lose your own blind spots, and easy not to see things that you're blinded to. It was Nicoletta Ciccoli, Queen of Swords. This is a trimmed version. I trimmed my deck. So why is this Queen of Swords, I'm going to bring it closer, had an aha moment for me? I'll tell you why. She struck me because she is eating cake. She's looking directly at us, directly at me, as she's about to take the bite of the cake, and no apologies. There is no feeling of, I have a right to tell you what I think. It is almost an indulging type of using the words. Almost makes me think of, I'm going to have my cake and I'm going to eat it too, and I'm going to indulge it. And it's almost a metaphor to Queen of Swords using her words. I'm going to say it how I see it, and I'm going to indulge in it, and I'm going to enjoy it. It's almost a shadow side of Queen of Swords for me in this card that I see. I see her almost being a little bit sadistic, right? I'm going to say what it is, and then I'm going to sit back and enjoy my cake, and I don't give a shit how you feel about what I just said. Very shadow side, which I recognize in myself too, being somebody who sees herself as a Queen of Swords. This card had an aha moment for me because it made me think deeper on the way one shares what they perceive as truth. It allowed me to think and sit with the fact that the truth does not always have time and place to be spoken. That there is a multitude of ways to speak truth, and sometimes it's better not to be told. There's something almost very, like I said, sadistic about her, as if she's enjoying in being so knowledgeable, or being so accurate about what she just said, and she doesn't care of the consequences or the pain the words can cause. Again, shadow, right, card. So for me, it was really important to come across this card and to contemplate my own identification with the Queen of Swords, my own relationship to the words, my own relationship to how I say things, especially I'm creating content on this channel, I'm creating content on my other channel for transgender community. It made me to think about the way we use language, the way we speak, the way we articulate ourselves, the way we share information. And that was a big aha moment. Again, as with a lot of aha moments, it's things we already know, but it's not until we see depicted in the pictures that it becomes very stark. And it brings it from that blind spot to the forefront so that we can now see and become very aware. And I feel cards and tarot, and using tarot cards for the way I use it for psychology, self-growth, is especially becomes invaluable when we can learn about blind spots, when we can also illuminate different sides to ourselves so that we can become more self-aware, because it's when we become self-aware that we become more mindful human beings toward ourselves and everybody else. So, Nicoletta Ciccoli, Queen of Swords. And the last card that I want to share that had an aha moment for me. And I don't have this deck anymore, but I will bring it up on my cell phone as an image. So it would be Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups in Rider-Waite-Smith, when I use decks that are Rider-Waite-Smith renditions, for me, Eight of Cups is walking away from something that's no longer working for you, walking away from something that, even though there's some abundance there, it's emotionally no longer serving you. It's walking away from something that maybe it hasn't fully ended, but you're making a choice to walk away because it's, again, no longer serves you. Eight of Cups in Zoos indolence is a different type of Eight of Cups. This is much more depleted energy. This is much more energies are getting dried up. It's time to walk away, because you can say it's very similar to Rider-Waite-Smith. To me, it treats very differently. It has that emotional residue of dryness to it, and it's basically, even though the last two cups are still flowing, it's almost saying eventually this is all going to dry up too. The Eight of Cups that had also a different aha moment for me would be Sassurabiro Tarot Eight of Cups. Those of you who know this deck are familiar with this amazing card. It's a card where she's naked. I assume it's a she. We're so used to gender immediately in this world. She's kneeling down and cutting her hair off. Why is this such an aha moment for me? When I think about cutting my hair, for me, cutting the hair, especially drastically cutting the hair off, is symbolic. I think for a lot of people, it is symbolic. Cutting the hair is often symbolically associated with letting go. And I understand for letting go. Nonetheless, for me, it's a different letting go. Cutting hair is not just letting go for me, it is setting a boundary. It is saying, I'm done with this. This is over with. There's no questioning. There's no, I need to walk away, it doesn't no longer serve me, or this is about to dry up, so I need to move forward. It is more, I made my decision and I'm crossing this line, and this is how I'm symbolizing the decision being made. It is very concrete for me. Now, in Eight of Cups, Crowley writes that it signifies lack of energy and feeling of resignation. Our attitude is stale and rusty, and we are in need of fresh perspective. I see cutting away the hair as a symbol of Eight of Cups, as anything but energies that is stale and there's lack of energy. I see actually a tremendous amount of energy and power, because once you empower yourself to make a decision, and draw that line, I don't know about you, but for me, it feels damn empowering. It's me taking control of my life. It's me taking control of my situation and of my environment. And cutting hair, for me, when I think about cutting hair, it means just that. Anytime in my life, again, with the aha cards, right? A lot of it is going to have to do with our personal associations, because we're projecting our personal histories and our personal relationship to the images we see. For me, anytime I cut my hair in my life, especially drastically, I remember when I got this haircut, my husband freaked out. He never seen me with bangs. I never seen myself with this type of bangs. While I didn't freak out, for me, it was a moment of, I am ready to embrace the evolution that I'm going through. I'm ready to embrace the person that I am becoming. And I wanted this to symbolize the evolution of that woman that I was becoming. It was a very active decision. It was not walking away from something. It was more embarking on the next chapter. And cutting my hair symbolized that for me. So when I saw the Sassurabira tarot card, it struck that with me. I realized that, yeah, Eight of Cups can be, hey, it's no longer working for you, you need to move away. Two, in a reading, I can see you're about or already have drawn a very clear and distinct line for you. You already made a clear-cut decision for you, and good for you. And that's why this card is such an aha moment. It's also so personal to me, because I have such a personal association to cutting hair. Drastically, for that reason as well. So these are the cards, apart from numbers. I mean, I can think Seven of Cups from Ariel Tarot is another one that is big aha moment for me. I'm sure there's cards and other tarot decks that I have that when I come across, and I'm sure that a lot of you have too, it lends you to look at the symbolism and the meaning that this card carries differently. It's as if we're given a set of meanings, which is great. And then this artist has taken us on this journey of completely different now set of meanings that's still deeply applicable to these cards, but provide a different angle. And I feel the more angles we have in the archetypal structures, in their symbolic representations, the better off we're all going to be, not only as a readers to other people, but also the way we use cards for ourselves. Because the more layered, the more we understand a particular symbol or archetype, the deeper our interpretations can be, the deeper we can take ourselves in our relationship to the cards. So these are my 3 aha cards that I shared with you. If you want to do AVR, please do. I'd love to see what are your aha cards. And I love learning about other decks and other people's aha cards and what they see. Sometimes, this is what I saw. Some of you watching it may not feel an aha moment with this imagery. Because again, images are so specific to our relationships and also to our internal subjective libraries that we have collected over time of the images and our relationship to those images. So share if you want to. I'd love to see your aha cards. Otherwise, comment below. Let me know. Do you have these decks? How did you feel when you came across this card? How did you feel when you came across the Tower card? How did you feel when you came across this Queen of Swords? I mean, cool as a cucumber. I just sliced you up just like I did this cake. By the way, the cake could be a metaphor of I'm going to slice you up, I'm going to eat you, and I'm not even going to blink twice about it. Very savage Queen of Cups to me. I love Nicolette and she called it tarot for that reason. So comment below. Love reading all of your comments, and I'll talk to you all next time. Bye.